everyone, this is Sandra of Nomad Stitches. I've been knitting and crocheting for the last 20 years or so, and I am here to help you guys take your crochet skills to the next level. This is part of a larger series on special crochet techniques, so these techniques go a little bit beyond the basics, just so that you guys can become a real expert. Now today we are going to talk about a really special topic to me, and that is mosaic crochet. So my latest design, the Teotihuacan top, which is right here, this was made with a variation of mosaic crochet. This one goes in rounds and only on the right side of the fabric, so the same as this Momo project bag. This one you can find it free in the blog. As you can see, it's really pretty, but the design goes only working on in rounds. It works really nice, but it's not so easy to work this kind of mosaic crochet flat, because you have to cut the ends after every row, and then you have a lot of ends to weave, and that's just not as much fun, right? So standard mosaic crochet is worked over 2 rows, which means that you come and then you go on the same color. That means that you don't have to cut your ends at the end of every row. So this is an example of mosaic crochet. These are some coasters that are also free in the blog, and there's also a little tea towel that comes with the free pattern. So I don't know if you can see here, and that each color is 2 rows, so you come and go, come and go, come and go, and this is the kind of pattern that creates. If you see the other one on the inside, this is just 1 color per row, or sorry, 1 row per color, more like. So it's a little bit different, right? So yeah, today I'm going to show you how to make standard mosaic crochet over 2 rows. If you want to know how to make the other kind of mosaic crochet in rounds, you can find the video in my channel, and I will put a link over here for you. And there's also that free pattern for you. I will put that link at the bottom as well. Alright, let's get started. Alright guys, so the first thing that we need to know about mosaic crochet is how the charts work. So this is an example of a mosaic crochet chart, and it's the one that I've used on the coasters and on the tea towel. Now let's look at it and see if we can break it down. So first of all, we need to learn about the rows. So each row represents 2 rows on your work. So for example, row 1 goes this way on the right side, and then on the wrong side, number 2, it goes back. It's the same exact row, it's just worked one way and then the other way on the way back. The good thing about this is that on the way back, it simply repeats what you did on the first one, so you don't even need to look at the chart really. Also, each row is a different color, and you can see the colors on the first and the last row. So for example, this one, which is our setup row, is a color B or blue, and then white, blue, or AB, depending on what color you are using at that time. The part inside the lines, inside the red lines, is what is repeated. So in this case, there are 8 stitches that are repeated. The first and last 2 are simply worked 1 time. That's why in this case, we are going to do a multiples of 8 plus 3. As you can see, this last column is exactly the same as this one. That way they will match up exactly right. Okay, now let's look at the stitches. So each row is worked in 1 color. Right, so let's look at row 1 only. Row 1 is worked in color A, or in white. In this case, all empty squares of the same color as the row, so this guy, here, and here, are single crochet. Okay? All empty squares that are a different color, this guy, and this guy, are chain skip 1. So you make 1 chain and you leave that stitch empty. And all stitches with an X in it are long double crochet. So a long double crochet is a normal double crochet, but it's just worked 2 rows down. All right, that's it. I know it sounds complicated when I say it, but it's really not that difficult once you work it. So let's do the first couple of rows of the chart. All right, so I have finished my base rows with color A. I have this beigey color for my color A, or white in the chart, and this purpley color for the blue or color B. All right, so let's do our setup row, which is row 0 in this case. So we go this way first. I have 4 single crochets, 1 chain, skip 1, and then single crochet to the end. So let's do that. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then chain 1, skip 1, then single crochet to the end. Now on the way back, it's basically the same thing, right? I can look at my work and see where I have a single crochet, I single crochet, and where I have a chain space, I do a chain and skip the space. So I don't need to look at the chart anymore. I can just look at my actual work. All right, here I have my chain space. I can see it. So I will chain and skip the space and continue with the next one. Single crochet. Now on the last stitch, I want to change colors to start the next row with color A. So I won't finish the stitch, and then I will finish it with the new color, in this case color A. And in order to keep the change of colors a bit neater, that edge, I will twist my colors. So I will twist them completely, and I will continue working with my new color. Now the next one, I have 3 single crochets, so let's do that. This row is a little bit more complicated, but still pretty simple. Then I have a chain 1, skip 1, so chain 1, skip 1, and then I have a long double crochet. Now that one is not work on the previous row, it's work on the previous, the last, or 2 rows down more like, which is the last of the same color. So I will find the stitch indicated, and I will make my double crochet there. And then I have a chain 1. So these 3 stitches we will be skipping on the previous row, right? So on those 3 I will not do anything. I will leave them empty and continue on the next one, which is a single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, and then 3 single crochets. Okay, there you go. That's my row 1. Now for the way back, I'm going to repeat what I have just done, but work single crochets on every single crochet or double crochet stitch. So on all stitches I will work a single crochet, except on my chain spaces I will chain and skip. Again, I don't need to look at the chart anymore because I can just look at my work, right? If I have a stitch, I work on it, another single crochet. If I have a chain space like here, I chain and skip. Chain space, chain, skip. Here I have a double crochet, but that's okay. I will do a single crochet on top, chain and skip, and then single crochet. Again, we want to change colors at the end, so start your stitch with the old color and then pick up your new one, finish the stitch, then we want to twist the yarn, and there you go. We can start our next row. In this case, it's row number 3. Let's open it up for us. Okay, so row number 3. So on this one, I start with 3 single crochets, right? So let's do that first. 1, 2, and 3. Then I have a long double crochet, which will be worked on the base row, the previous one of the same color. Okay, and there it is. Oopsie. So it's worked at the front of your work. And then single crochet, long double crochet, long double crochet. Let me show you exactly. So I put it into the stitch, okay, at the front of your work. Chain 1, skip 1, long double crochet. In this part, there are as well 3 stitches that will be skipped on the previous one, so you can count them easily. And then I have a single crochet to the end. One, 2, and 3. All right, here you go. Again, like we did before on row number 2, row number 4 will simply repeat what we have just done by working a single crochet on every stitch except the chain spaces. I will make a chain and skip. So on the way back I have single crochet 4 times, then chain 1, skip 1, then single crochet to the end. Again, I don't have to look at my chart because I can see what I have done before in my work. And change colors. And start my new one. Okay, so I will continue working the chart and I will show you how to work the last row, because the last 2 rows, you know, even and odd, are a little bit different from the rest of the rows. Okay, so I will continue and I will work a few more rows and then we'll finish. So on the last row of the chart, all the stitches that are empty will be single crochets. It doesn't matter what color, all right? So you will only work single crochets. This is so that we don't have those empty spaces from the chain spaces, because it's the last row, so we need to close it off. So we won't make any chain spaces, we will only make single crochets. But the long double crochets do need to be worked in order for the pattern to continue. So in this case, I have a single crochet all the way to this long double crochet. Okay, and remember that long double crochets are always on top of chain spaces. So in this case, for example, I will just have 1. So instead of counting the stitches, I just look at my work and I realize that there's a chain space there. So that's where I work my long double crochet. I don't need to be looking for how many stitches, right? And then single crochet to the end. And then on the way back, like we did before, single crochet on every stitch, chain on every chain space. But here there are no chain spaces, so I will simply single crochet to the end. Alright, and that's it. Here is a very, very small sample of the chart. Now this is what 2 repeats of the chart looks like. This is a little coaster. So they are repeated 2 times, and I think this one, if I remember, is 6 times across. Oh, it's a bit too big. Alright, so you can see the pattern being worked through. Yeah. This is Standard Mosaic Crochet.
Alright
Alright guys, well I really hope you found this video interesting. It's not the easiest of techniques, but after you work at it for a little while, it becomes quite easy to follow those charts. So I really hope you can integrate this to one of your designs, or simply, you know, something that you have that's quite plain. You can add a little bit of a pattern on it and it looks a lot prettier and a lot more complicated than it really is. Like I said before, you can find the link to the free pattern for the coasters and the tea towel on Standard Mosaic Crochet at the bottom in the description, so that you can make it at home and practice on your own. Now don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and of course comment, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and to this video. Alright, see you next time. Bye bye.